I wanted to do a vlog about the internet, something that I learned on the internet. Now, I've done a lot of reading about food photography because I have a cooking channel, Mobile Home Gourmet, on YouTube that's got something like close to 300 videos on there. And I have done a lot of food photography. I even read a book about food photography and used some of what she talked about in her book. But you can never know everything. There's always something new to learn. And what I did this week was I made orange sherbet from scratch because it's been warm here, pretty warm. It's supposed to be up in the high 80s today, not as bad as yesterday, but it's still going to be a warm day. The air conditioners will be on. But I made this orange sherbet. And one of the challenges, especially on a warm day, is how do you photograph ice cream? Because as soon as the heat hits it, it starts melting. So I went on the internet and I looked for websites by photographers who talked about the tips that they found useful or the techniques that they use for photographing ice cream. And I learned some pretty neat tricks, some of which seem common sense. Like, for example, put the ice cream dish in the freezer for at least 20 minutes before you use it for the ice cream, so that when the ice cream hits the dish, it won't start melting down the sides of the dish. Plane going overhead. Should open the door so you can hear the trains going by too. That makes sense. But this I didn't expect, and this was such a neat trick. Put a tray in the freezer. I have an aluminum tray so it cools down very quickly, and line it with parchment paper. Let that sit in there for about 20 minutes. And then with an ice cream scoop, scoop up about 6 or 8 scoops of ice cream and line them up on the parchment paper and let that sit in the refrigerator in the freezer rather, for about 20 minutes. Meanwhile, set up your space that you're going to do your photography. Put a placemat down, a napkin, a spoon, so forth. Get your camera set up on your tripod, get your white balance set, blah, blah, blah. Get everything set up the way you want it so that as soon as you're ready with the ice cream, bang, 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 you can start shooting photographs. And then what they said is, in that frozen dish, pick the 2 or 3 best looking scoops of ice cream that are on that tray, arrange it in the dish, put it in your setting, and start photographing. I did that. And what was so neat about it was I got a good 15 photographs experimenting with different lighting and so forth. And there was no sherbet melted in the bottom of that bowl. It stayed cold and frozen long enough that I got my photographs. So that's one of the things that I like about the internet. They say you can't always believe everything you read on the internet. I've been reading this book by Malcolm Nance that talks a lot about what the Russians are doing as far as interfering with the operations of governments around the world, not just the USA, not just the 2016 election. A lot of what they're doing as far as promoting misinformation on the internet. And it's pretty advanced what they're doing. And they've been doing it for years. Back in the Cold War days, propaganda is nothing new. It's been around for a long time, and it's hard to fight. So yes, you can't always believe everything you hear or see or read on the internet. Some of them are just conspiracy theories, and people like conspiracy theories. I happen to not, but I don't judge. Anyways, there are some good websites like done by photographers where they show examples of their work where you can believe what you see. There's some good information about there. I do trust Wikipedia a lot. So that's what I wanted to blog about today. Not a very long blog, but just something that I enjoyed this week because I made some good orange sherbet, and it is delicious. But I also got one of the best photographs that I ever got as far as ice cream, or in this case, sherbet in a dish. It was just so successful, and I'm just so pleased that I did my research on the internet. So that's my simple kitchen vlog for today. Thanks for watching. If you like what you're seeing, please subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Click the like or the dislike button. Doesn't matter which one you click. It's considered an interaction, an engagement. YouTube calls them engagements, and they don't count the negatives. They just count the engagements, and those improve my ranking. So feel free to dislike it if you don't like what you're seeing. But anyways, thanks for watching.